Hey everybody, SD Costume Guy, and gonna do a little project here with a magician thumb. This is got this at the Gypsy Treasures in La Mesa, California, the mall. And this is a magician's thumb for doing tricks and stuff like that. But what I like to use these for, and my finger's all stained here with leather stain. Um, I like to use these for my costumes, and what I can do is wear, like if I have a zombie mask but I don't have zombie hand gloves, I can wear regular gloves that are all torn up. I can cut one of the fingers off and then put this over my finger, paint this up, put a fake fingernail on it, paint that up, so when I put my glove on, this sticks out, looks like a zombie finger with a fake nail, or looks like a dirty nail, and it just adds to the costume. Now this thumb here is actually much bigger or smaller than my regular thumb, so when I put it on my finger, it looks pretty good. And plus, when I have gloves on where these other fingers are covered in the glove material, and this is sticking out of one of the fingers that I've cut off on the glove, and I put the nail on there, it looks really good, especially when I paint it up and put the fake fingernail on it. So I got these precision fit nails. This happens to be plus size, and what I do is I grab one. I have these left over from when I was doing my fingernails for my Friday the 13th Part 4 Jason Voorhees costume, but it turned out to be just a little too much to continuously do. So I got one of these big nails here, and I just try to figure out which one's going to fit the best on there. Sometimes you'll have to go to the bottom here and kind of push on it and kind of get it flattened out a little bit so it fits. And then you can kind of use a nail file or sandpaper or a Dremel tool to get it to fit exactly how you want it. So what I've already done was I've gotten one here, and I kind of trimmed it around to where I can super glue that on there. I might have to trim it a little bit better on there, but either way, once it goes on, I'm going to have it painted up so it'll look a lot better. Now I went ahead and shortened the nail. As you can see, this nail is way longer, and then you can just put it the length that you want. I wanted it that length. To cut it down with the fingernail clippers, you can do that. You can even take nicks out of it, take the nail clippers and kind of make a piece of it broke off or came off like this. See if I can get it to, so there we go. So now there's a piece that's chipped out there, just to make it kind of look a little more rugged and zombie-like. Now I'll use a couple different paints. I'll use black and I'll use burnt umber, my go-to color, burnt umber. So now when you look at that, it looks like it's a chipped nail. So then when I put it on here, it'll look like that. So we'll get to painting it here in just a few moments. Probably what I'm going to do though is I'm going to glue this in place once I trim this nail down the way I want it, because what I used to do is try to hold it and paint it, but if I glue it on here and paint it, it's much easier to hold on to the finger with the nail already attached. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I got the fingernail ready here. With the thumb, I got it cleaned off. Got this stuff called Super Weld, JB Super Weld. It's the only super glue I have right now, so this should work pretty good. It dries pretty quickly, so go ahead and put some of that on there. Put this fake nail on here, kind of get it on there. I'm going to go ahead and hold it on there, and I'm not going to record me holding it on here for 30 seconds. Okay, so now that I got the fake nail on there, I'll go ahead and paint up the nail. It should be dry now. I'm going to use a couple different colors, or actually just two different colors. I like the burnt umber acrylic paint, and I like the black acrylic paint, watered down sometimes. Hopefully that nail is glued on there good enough. I don't think I have any cardboard, so I may have to use some plastic here. Boy, I got these crows out here this morning. Just Just making sure that's really glued on there. And if you look at my, well, everybody's thumb's probably different, but you have a lighter color down here at the bottom, kind of arcs, and then it's a different color here. And that's what I'm going to try to do down here on the bottom. Let me get my paintbrushes. So I've sanded the top of this nail, so it'll help, because they're really, really shiny. Here's a fingernail that I broke. It's really shiny, and I want the paint to stick, so I got some burnt umber here. This is just, this is from Michael's, but I believe Walmart stuff has a smaller bottle. And what I want to do is just kind of lightly go over this real quick here. And then I'm just going to take some of it off with my finger. Kind of staining it. And then I'm going to try to just do everything except that back area where it's lighter on a regular fingernail. So right here, I'm going to try to wipe that off a little bit, like that. Go ahead and let this dry and I'll come right back. So I've kind of smeared it out a little bit, kind of trying to leave this white area here, just like on a regular nail. I can stain it a little bit and then just kind of come back in here and wipe it off. Like that. I can get some paint without any water on it. Kind of go over here. Take a little bit off with my finger. Right now what you're doing is staining it. I'm going to pause it because the helicopters are coming over. So what I'm doing is just kind of going over it with some just regular paint without it burnt, without it watered down. Still wet a little bit. I like tapping it with my finger, taking some of the paint off. Again, you're just still kind of staining it. You don't want to go, at least I don't want to go overboard here just too yet. This paint will come right off with a napkin if you don't let it dry. If you mess up, as you can see, I'm able to take. That's why I like using my finger to wipe some of that off, because it's leaving some of the paint and taking some off, and just kind of looks, to me, it looks more natural. So I went ahead and painted a little bit up underneath the nail too. Like if it's got some dirt and grime underneath the nail, kind of pushing it up underneath there. Looks pretty good, or I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, put it on. And then we're going to get some black here in a little bit, and we're going to paint this nail up a little bit. Yeah, take a little bit off right here. Not too much. See, I'm taking most of it off right now because I got my finger wet, but what I can do is just go back over it with the paintbrush again, and see, it pretty much all came off. So I can just kind of go over it with the paint again. And I think I like it like that. Let's see. And you can always add blood. I think I have some blood in the house, or in one of these bins out here. Now that was a little too much for me, so I'm gonna have to take some of that off. It's just a process, you know. You mess up, do it over. Looks a little shiny now, but once I get the like clear coat and stuff on it, it should be pretty good. Okay, there's that in there. Dirty. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it like that and be right back. Right now I'm just kind of brushing some of that burnt umber paint on the finger to make the finger look dirty. Oh, here comes the trash man, so I'm gonna have to pause it again. Yeah, just kind of painting up the fingers. Like I said, when you put the gloves on and you put your finger through, just the finger itself will be sticking out. So there won't be anything to compare this finger to the other fingers. And here comes the trash man, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it. I think the trash man's far enough away now. So I get some of this black, and I'm just going up underneath here and getting the edge of this nail. Like it was clawing away at something, got dirty along the side. I may have to switch brushes too, because I think this one's going to be too big. So let me come right back. Alright, let's try this brush here. I want to go up underneath here. Get a little bit more. Go up underneath the edge of the nail, like dirt and stuff got up underneath there. If I want to, I can kind of go across this little arc just to kind of make it a little more defined. What do you think? So then when I put the nail on and have my gloves on, that'll stick out like that. And I can go in here and darken this up a little bit if I need to. It doesn't have to be so much like that. Let me look how the bugs just happen to come in today and start messing with me. I'm just putting a little bit of water on there and taking that black off just a little bit. Yeah, looks pretty good. And get a little bit of black on my finger. Just kind of stain it a little bit. I like to stain the grooves. Brush is a little too wet. Get a little bit of black. I like to get the grooves in the fingers a little bit. And I might just leave it like this. Just a little added detail. If you're wearing gloves, like I said, you can have, if you can't afford silicone or latex gloves for zombies, you can have regular material gloves and weather them all up so they look dirty and worn and holes in them. You can cut off one of the fingers, and you can do whatever finger you like. You can do the middle finger there, or this finger. You can even do a couple fingers. Now, if it's a little too loose on your finger, I just get a little piece of foam or piece of paper towel and put it in there and make it a little bit tighter when you wear it. Not sure if I like the paint job on that or not, but let's see here. I think so. Yeah, I think it looks okay. Well, there is the zombie finger. Like I said, I don't want to ruin my gloves here, but let me see here. I got some latex gloves here. Helicopter again. So I'm just going to use these gloves because I don't know where my cloth gloves are right now. I don't want to dig them out. But so what you want to do before you cut is don't cut too much, because you don't want the material to be back behind the glove here. So I'm going to start off with just a little bit here at the end. Now I can just put this on my finger, then I can go put the glove on. So now, say if I had regular gloves, it would stick out the front. Of course, you can trim this down more. Of course, it's tight because of the material this is, but you can bring this down a little bit more. There we go. So if you're wearing gloves, just imagine this is cloth, work gloves or whatever. You can have this sticking out and kind of add to your costume. So there you have it. I mean, you can clear coat it too. I have in the past. I don't think this comes off. It's not really coming off. But if you wanted to clear coat it or something, you could. Or if you wanted to add blood to it or anything else you wanted to add to this, you can, I don't know. I mean, if you put your finger through here, you might be able to stop it right about there and maybe put a nail, like a regular hammer nail through at the top if you want to like, have some damage. I guess you can keep it off your finger just a little bit more. But there's a look at that. And it's just kind of a fast paint job. I mean, I've done this before and I've done a better paint job than this. Let's see if I can just kind of, you can do that too, little streaks through there. I like it that way better. I do that with my own fingernails. What I do is I let my fingernails grow a little bit and then I just go around the edges here with the black and stick it up underneath there, and I use the burnt umber and I paint my own nail. But there you have it. Here's how you can make your own zombie finger. Like I said, you can wear gloves and you can put this on one finger, you can put on 2, 3. I mean, if your thumb's smaller than mine, you can put it on your thumb instead. But I find it better on my finger here.